Want to know what delicious ice cream has to do with why your Christmas tree is green during the winter? Stick around and find out. Hello there. You may notice that my eyebrows are back because I finally got my bangs trimmed. So that's a positive direction. Today we're not talking about my hair, but we're talking about why our Christmas trees are green. Why do evergreen trees stay green all year long? First off, we're going to talk about the two different strategies that trees take. So there are deciduous trees and coniferous trees, or evergreens. Deciduous trees are the type of trees that lose their leaves every single fall. So within 1 year, they grow leaves, the leaves make a bunch of energy for the tree via photosynthesis, and then they lose them. And deciduous trees drop their leaves because they kind of become a hazard during the winter time. Water in them can freeze, they don't get to produce enough energy because photosynthesis decreases during the winter time. So rather than using a bunch of energy to keep those leaves around, the tree just gets rid of them and goes into a very slow state of kind of hibernation where it's not taking up a lot of energy, and then in the springtime it'll grow new leaves again and the cycle begins all over again. Coniferous trees take a different approach. Rather than making leaves to just lose them every single fall, they make needles, which are the leaves for a coniferous tree. These needles are long, skinny, often covered in a very thick waxy coating, which prevents them from losing a lot of water during the winter time, prevents them from drying out, and allows photosynthesis to occur more during the winter. Photosynthesis as a whole does slow down during the winter time due to cold temperatures, but even just a little bit of photosynthesis during the winter keeps chlorophyll active in the leaves, and chlorophyll is green, which gives your evergreens their green color all year round. Another thing that I find super cool about these pine needles or other needle-like leaves found on conifers is that they kind of have an antifreeze property going on. So again, I mentioned that deciduous trees, if they kept their leaves, the water in their leaves would freeze during the winter time. And the same thing could happen to coniferous trees as well. Their leaves could still freeze because of the water freezing. But instead of the water in their leaves freezing at our typical 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius, the evergreen trees are capable of pumping in certain chemicals into their cells that actually lower the freezing point of water. That makes it gonna freeze at less than 32 degrees Fahrenheit or less than 32 degrees Celsius, helping protect them from cold temperatures. It's just the way that antifreeze in your car works, or how you can make some really fun and delicious ice cream. All right, so in both of these bags, these sandwich bags, I have half a cup of half and half, a tablespoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. In each of these gallon-sized Ziploc bags, I have a bunch of ice. In one of these gallon Ziploc bags, I'm gonna put in a bunch of salt. So what the salt is gonna do is act as a natural antifreeze and lower the freezing temperature of this ice compared to this bag, which is gonna make this bag a whole lot colder than this bag of ice. Once we have our salt in there, we just put our bag of ice cream mixture into both of these bags, seal them up, make sure they're sealed up very nicely, and shake. All right, so I've shaken both of these for a couple of minutes, and let's see what happened. So first of all, there is just a there is a discernible difference in how cold this bag is compared to this bag. The bag with the ice, much colder. Now if we reach in and take out our ice cream, let's see how those guys compare. So this is our, I hate these bags. I have no feelings left in my fingers. All right, this is our salt ice cream. Well, not our ice cream that tastes like salt, but our ice cream made in the bag with salt and ice. That's a pretty ice creamy texture, you know. Let's get out another bowl. And here is our bag that was made in a bag without ice. Womp, womp, womp. That's still liquid. It didn't really freeze at all because it didn't have ice in the, it had ice in the bag, because it didn't have salt in the bag to lower the freezing point of the ice and make it colder so it would freeze overall. Ice cream also has a couple other antifreeze properties working for it that prevent it from turning into just a solid block of ice when it gets super cold. Number one is the fat from the milk. Fat will also lower freezing temperatures. And the second one is sugar. Sugar also acts as an antifreeze and lowers the freezing temperature. So while this may be at freezing point or below, it's not one frozen solid hunk. It's a delicious creamy ice cream. Let's get a taste of that here. So good. So that's a fun, tasty experiment that illustrates the wonderful powers of a natural antifreeze and shows you how evergreen trees can keep their leaves all year round and prevent them from freezing. Back to the science. Even though evergreen trees do stay green year round, that doesn't mean their needles don't eventually die once they reach the end of their life cycle. And once they do that, they'll fall off the tree and onto your ground. And if you happen to own a lot of pine trees in your yard, you'll be raking pine straw forever. Fun times. Finally, the last thing I'll leave you guys with is the fact that the differences in energy strategies between a deciduous and a coniferous tree result in differences in their distribution of where they like to grow. So you'll often notice evergreen trees living at very high latitudes, such as in like Alaska or upper North America or Canada, or living at higher altitudes, such on mountaintops. If you go really far north or high up on a mountain, you're less likely to see deciduous trees. And this is because deciduous trees have a harder time growing in those areas. They only have, again, one growing season to grow leaves, make enough energy to recoup that energy loss and lose all their leaves, while the evergreen trees can keep their leaves for a couple of years and have photosynthesis occur over a period of time. The growing season in higher latitudes or higher altitudes is often a lot shorter, it's often a lot harsher, and having those extra years with needles still attached to the tree to get more energy back just is a better overwintering strategy for that type of environment. So next time you're on top of a mountain or really north up on our globe, just take a look around, notice a lot of coniferous trees, and congratulate them on their overwintering strategy because suck it, deciduous trees, you didn't grow well here. What a fun and delicious journey we went on to learn why evergreen trees or coniferous trees stay green all year round and why we get to put a green Christmas tree in our house. I feel like it'd be a little sad to decorate like a naked deciduous tree. But we have that beautiful bright evergreen tree that keeps its needles all year round, that provides us joy each holiday season, all thanks to science. Thanks so much for watching this video and for getting me to 1,600 and counting subscribers. It means a lot. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, check me out on Instagram. If you want to support my channel even further, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page, and keep it sciencey. So let's first roll back a little bit and talk about leaf and energy strategies. So plants grow. So this is not making any sense.